Okay, we're going to get started and make a mail list today. The mail list is going to be used later in a mail merge, but let's just work out how we make our mail list. Now, I'm in our Cert tool and we're in task 2, as you can see up the top, and we're going to go over to our bookcase, to our learning materials, because in our learning materials we're actually given our mail listing data. When you click on that mail list data, at the top you get a PDF with people's names down the left-hand side and addresses down the right side. Okay, what we need to do is be able to get that information into an Excel spreadsheet. Now, this is quite often what would happen to you in a business. Sometimes people just give you a handwritten sheet of names and addresses and things like that, and you have to work out a way to get it in. Now, one way is we could go to our Excel spreadsheet and we could start typing all of that information in, the names in the first column and the addresses in the second column. Let's see if we can do that in an easier way. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the bottom of my PDF and I'm just going to start highlighting from the bottom right all the way up. So I get all the addresses, all the names. So both lots of information, just make sure I've got it all highlighted. Then I'm going to press Control-C on my keyboard, which is copy. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to open up Notepad, and most people have Notepad or a Notepad alternative on their computer. I'm going to paste that information into Notepad. So I'll press Control-V on my keyboard, and you can see that information has gone in there. Now I'll just go to the very top, and you can see that the name has been put at the start. Miss Susie Lim is the first one, followed by the address. And there's only a space between the name and the address. Now that's not going to quite do it for us to get it into Excel. So what we need to do is we need to place a tab between the name and the address, and that way Excel can recognize that they should be in two different columns. So while we do that, we're going to tidy up some of these names and addresses a little bit as well, because they've got some things in there we don't want. So it takes a little bit of time, but if you go through fairly quickly, it shouldn't be too bad. So I start at the very top, and I'm going to click just before the address at 11 and press Tab on my keyboard. That will just put a bigger space between those two. I'm going to keep going down and do the same for the next one, and the same for the next one. Keep going down, just be careful that I'm separating the addresses from the names. Try and do it as quickly as I can. It's a good way to, while you're doing this, just to check over that the information is tidy, and if it's not tidy, then tidy it up so it is tidy. So I'm still just going through, putting my tabs in before each of my addresses. Now this one here I got down to Gordon Davis. You can see there's a comma after his name. It doesn't need to be there. So I'm going to put my tab in. I'm going to delete that comma out of the Gordon Davis one so it separates those two properly. Okay, you can see down a couple of lines further I've got another one where I've got a comma before the by. So I'm just going to tab that one out too. Okay, I'll keep moving on as quickly as I can. See another one here that's got a comma there we don't need. I'll just keep moving down the page. And keep just an eye on it as you go so the names are separated. You'll notice some of the names are actually business names, like this one, Retail Magic. That's fine, that can be used as the name you are sending your emails or your letters to. You might be noticing as you get towards the bottom that the very last one has jumped over onto two lines as well. So that may or may not have happened for you. But if it has, we'll just try and separate those. So we've got Chris Edwards United Medical Center, so we'll just delete that one. We'll give that a tab. We're just going to get these last two and put them back up on the lines they should be up on. I don't know why they've gone down. We'll just get them back up there where they should be. Okay, now I have tabbed all of my addresses, so they've all got a tab separating them from the names. What I'm going to do now is select all that information. The easiest way to do a select all is just to hold down the Control key and press A or Command A on a Mac. That selects everything. Then I hold down the Control key and do a Control C. That copies everything. So now I've got that copied, that information. I come back to Excel and I want that information to go into two columns. So what I'm going to do is highlight the first two columns. And I do that by coming up to where it says B at the top, hold down my mouse key and drag across to A. So I've got those two columns highlighted. Now I'm going to paste my information in, and I paste my information in with Control V. Okay, V for Victor. So I hold my Control key down, press V. You might get this message come up. The data you're pasting isn't the same size as your selection. Do you want to paste anyway? Just press OK. Okay, and you'll see that information's gone in. Now it's hard to tell whether it's in two columns because the information is wider than what the columns are. But in Excel, if you go up to where between the A and the B and you get that two-way arrow with the line and you double click, it will widen the column out to exactly the size of the largest piece of text. Okay, so that's widened that out nicely and I can see the name in the first one. Now I'll go between B and C, double click, and there you go. I've got all my names and all my addresses. Now a quick look down will tell me that, okay, I've got one here, Mr. Alan Smith, that's somehow it's missed out. Not sure what's happened there. So I'd say, looking at it, that this one here, the Global Furniture Traders, is meant to be up on the next line. So I'm going to put that one up there. Then I might have to grab this address and pop that in after that one. Okay, that's fixed that up. And I can just delete that line 32 after that. So you might need to do a little bit of that messing around. Now it's just a matter of saving our file. So we just do a file save as. We can just save this as an Excel document. So pick a spot you want to save it. And we should call it something like mail list. All right, and press save. For me, mine's already got one there called mail list, but I'll press yes and go over the top of it. So there you go. Well done.